Have you ever just, looked at someone's actions and thought, why on earth did they do that, even when it makes zero sense? Or maybe you've seen those people who seem to, well, almost effortlessly influence others. They just connect.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging right into those questions. We're exploring the hidden gears behind human behavior. And we're doing it by really getting into a summary of Robert Greene's big work, The Laws of Human Nature.
Oh.
Our mission, to pull out the absolute core insights, give you that shortcut to understanding the psychological rules we all live by so you can navigate life with, well, more power and clarity.
Absolutely. And the great thing about Greene's approach is it's not just theory, is it? These are practical tools, insights you can actually use for, say, personal growth, for leadership, for just getting relationships right. It really is a kind of blueprint for understanding the human landscape.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Greene often says understanding others starts with understanding, well, ourselves. So what's one of the first big laws he highlights about our own internal workings? Right, he kicks off with a really crucial one. Law 1, master your emotional self. What's fascinating is how he flips the script. He basically says, we act emotionally first.
Uh-huh.
And only then do we use our rational brain to justify it afterwards, like making up a reason.
That rings true, definitely. But detaching like that in the moment, it feels almost impossible sometimes. Does he give any, practical tips?
He does. A big one is just pausing, creating that little gap, between feeling something and reacting. And he advises studying your own triggers, like a scientist watching an experiment.
Oh, interesting. Objectively.
Exactly. Objective observation. Not trying to squash the feeling, but understanding where it comes from. That gives you control.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But Greene doesn't stop there with our inner stuff, does he? He pushes deeper. What about the parts we kind of don't want to look at?
Yeah, that leads straight into Law 9. Confront your dark side. This is where he talks about the shadow self. All those bits we repress, anger, envy, maybe
The
resentment.
uncomfortable stuff?
The really uncomfortable stuff.
Yeah.
And his point is crucial. If you don't acknowledge it, integrate it somehow.
Yeah.
It doesn't vanish, it festers. It can lead to, self-sabotage or acting out in ways you don't even understand.
Wow. Okay, so if we're dealing with emotions and this shadow self, where does ego fit in? That feels like a big piece of the puzzle.
Oh, it's huge. That's Law 10. Beware the fragile ego, whether it's inflated or, feeling inferior. Greene shows how an unchecked ego makes us overreact, get envious, feel insecure, all that jazz.
Right.
He actually says something quite provocative. Humility equals power.
Humility equals power. How so? Seems counterintuitive sometimes.
Well, he means humility allows you to learn, to adapt, to actually see reality clearly,
Yeah.
instead of seeing everything through the filter of, how does this make me look, or am I being slighted? It makes you less fragile.
Less fragile. I like that. So it's not about being a doormat, but about having a realistic self-view.
Precisely. It's an inner humility. It builds real confidence, not just, bluster.
Okay. And talking about balance, Greene brings up this idea of internal energies. Masculine and feminine, what's that about?
Yeah, Law 12. Reconnect to the masculine or feminine within. And he's really clear this isn't about gender at all.
Okay.
He uses masculine for energies like assertiveness, logic, action, and feminine for things like receptivity, intuition, empathy. His point is that wholeness, real adaptability, comes from balancing both inside yourself. Too much of one limits you.
Makes sense. Like being all action and no listening, or all feeling and no deciding.
Exactly. You need both for a full toolkit.
So with all this self-awareness, emotions, shadow, ego, energies, what's the point? Where do we direct it? Does Greene offer guidance on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That brings us neatly to Law 13, advance with a sense of purpose. His argument is stark. People without a clear, self-chosen direction are easily swayed, easily manipulated.
All right. Kind of drifting.
Yeah. Your purpose acts like an internal compass, he says. It's about setting those big long-term goals and then making sure your daily actions, your choices, actually line up with reaching them. It gives you focus, resilience.
Okay, one last piece on the internal stuff before we look outward. Greene makes a powerful link between our attitude and how the world treats us, right?
He does. Law 8. Change your circumstances by changing your attitude. It's fundamental. Your internal state, your mindset, it literally radiates outwards. And people pick up on it. So if you project negativity or insecurity, you tend to get that back. But if you radiate positivity, confidence, that sense of purpose we just talked about,
Things tend to go better.
significantly better, yeah. It actually changes your interactions, draws better opportunities, better people.
Fascinating. Okay, so we've looked inward, got our internal house maybe a bit more in order. Let's turn outwards. Greene gives us some really powerful tools for understanding others. And it starts somewhere unexpected, with self-absorption.
Yeah, that's law 2. Transform self-love into empathy. It's a core Greene idea. Everyone, fundamentally, is wrapped up in themselves.
We're all the main character in our own movie.
Pretty much. So trying to fight that is pointless. Instead, you leverage it. Empathy, for Greene, isn't just feeling sorry for someone. It's like an emotional radar.
A radar.
Yeah, it's about actively trying to tune into their self-absorption, their needs, their insecurities, what makes them tick. That's how you connect.
Ah, okay. So understanding their self-interest is key to empathy. That's interesting. And this reading people, it goes beyond, is just what they say, doesn't it? What about the masks people wear?
Definitely. Law 3. See through people's masks. We all put on a front, right? A social persona.
Sure.
Greene says real insight comes from seeing the cracks, the little things, micro-expressions, tiny shifts in tone, body language that doesn't match the words.
Like you can just feel something's off.
Exactly. Power comes from reading what's not being said explicitly,
Yeah.
reading between the lines.
So, okay, we're looking behind the mask. How do we then judge someone's actual character, their real strength?
That's law 4. Determine the strength of people.
Yeah.
And Greene says, don't look when things are easy.
No.
No, look at how they handle stress, adversity. Look at what happens when they get a bit of power. And crucially, how do they treat people who have less power or people they don't need anything from?
That's telling.
Very telling. His rule is basically judge by consistent actions, especially under pressure, not by reputation or smooth talk.
Okay, so we've seen behind the mask. We've assessed their character under pressure. Now, how do we actually influence them effectively in a way that lands?
Right. This is law 7. Soften people's resistance by confirming their self-opinion. What people want, maybe more than anything, is to feel understood and validated. So figure out how they see themselves. What are they proud of? What do they think makes them special? And then subtly, genuinely, if possible, confirm that view. Validate their self-image.
Ah, so you lower their defenses by making them feel seen.
Exactly. It makes them feel smart, important, understood, and much more open to what you have to say.
Clever. Okay, let's shift from one-on-one to the bigger social picture, group dynamics. Greene has some interesting ideas about increasing our appeal, our value, in a group setting. What's one way?
A really intriguing one is law 5. Become an elusive object of desire. It taps into basic human psychology. We want what's scarce, what's a bit mysterious, what we can't easily have.
The whole playing hard to get idea, but maybe more sophisticated.
Sort of, yeah. In a world where everyone overshares, Greene suggests holding back a little. Maintain some intrigue. Don't reveal everything, because fundamentally, scarcity increases perceived value.
Makes sense. And this idea of value, it links to seeing things more broadly, right? Getting perspective.
It does, yeah. Law 6. Elevate your perspective. He really pushes you to step back. Get above the immediate fray, your own biases, your emotions of the moment.
Like climbing a mountain to see the whole landscape.
Good analogy. It means looking for patterns, studying history, psychology, seeing the bigger forces at play. Greene says wisdom comes from stepping outside yourself, basically.
And speaking of that bigger picture, we are social animals. So understanding the group itself must be key. What does Greene say about that?
That's law 11. Know the social currents. Humans are deeply influenced by the groups they're in, the trends, the moods.
A zeitgeist.
Exactly. You need to understand those group dynamics. The unspoken rules, the popular opinions, the anxieties. It's about mastering, as he puts it, the art of timing and social navigation. Knowing the currents you're swimming in.
But there's a danger there too, isn't there? Getting swept away by the group.
Oh, absolutely. And that's law 14. Resist the downward pull of the group. He warns that groups often push towards conformity. Of course, mediocrity even. They can stifle independent thinking.
The herd mentality.
Right. So the advice is crucial. Stay independent in your thinking. Maintain your own standards. Don't just go along to get along if it compromises your values or judgment.
That takes courage sometimes.
It definitely does.
So after exploring all these laws, understanding ourselves, reading others, navigating groups, what's the final piece of wisdom Greene leaves us with about human nature itself?
It's law 15. Accept the shortcomings of human nature. And this one is, well, maybe the most grounding. It's about dropping the fantasy that people should be perfect or always rational or always kind.
Because they're just not.
They're not. So anticipate flaws. Understand that things like envy, insecurity, even betrayal are part of the human package. Not always, but they're possibilities. And prepare for them wisely. Greene doesn't see this as cynical. He calls realism the highest form of compassion.
realism as compassion because you're dealing with people as they actually are.
Exactly. Not as you wish they were. It allows for more understanding, less disappointment.
Wow, what a deep dive, truly. So, to wrap it up, Greene's Laws of Human Nature is really like a user's manual for the human psyche, isn't it? Understanding these laws can genuinely change how you approach personal growth, leadership, decisions, relationships, everything, really. Moving from just reacting to actually understanding.
And it's not just about knowing this stuff intellectually, right? It's a practice. It requires paying attention, reflecting, trying things out. It's something you live day by day,
Yeah,
an ongoing journey.
definitely. So, think about this as we finish up. Considering everything we've talked about today, how might your interactions, maybe even your decisions, look different? If you consciously picked just one of these laws and really tried to see the world through that lens, starting now, what would you choose to observe more closely? Keep diving deep, keep learning about yourself and the fascinating, complex world of human nature around you.